ISIS is losing its hold on the ground inside the Middle East, but the battle may now be shifting to a new arena, the internet. Joining me now is Fox News military analyst and retired four-star general, Jack Keane. Good afternoon, General.
Good to see you,
Thanks
Julian.
for being here.
Delighted.
So, just a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago, President Trump declared that the Syrian Democratic Forces have reclaimed Raqqa, back from ISIS. Does this mean mission accomplished? We can kind of pack up and haul out of there?
No, and your question implies that we're not going to do that, right? Well, first of all, they deserve a lot of credit for finally taking the safe haven down. The leaders are actually southeast of there, towards the Iraqi border in the Euphrates River Valley, so we'll have to get in there and clean them out as well. I frankly think the major lesson from 9/11 was never permit radical Islamists to have a safe haven, because we did that in Afghanistan for years and we got 9/11 as a result. So I was astounded that the Obama administration, once the safe haven was formed, would not consider this main effort. Let's go after it, let's take it down. We did not. 5 years later, we finally did. But during that period of time, it grew into an iconic organization, expanded into 30 countries, Jillian, and attacked NATO countries 39 times in close to 3 years.
So you mentioned ISIS being an iconic terror organization, which is certainly the case. What about Raqqa in particular? What can you tell us about the sort of strategic and symbolic importance of Raqqa to the Islamic State?
Yes, I mean, having lost something that they claimed as their territory, and it was from there that they were going to expand into other Sunni Arab states and expand the caliphate, and now they've lost that. So that is a significant defeat for them. But they've not gone away, and this is why. One, their ideology is out there, and people are still motivated and inspired by it. And the second thing is they have a virtual caliphate right now that exists. And I know you wrote an article about it, I think it was for The Hill. Mm-hmm. And this caliphate is astounding, because al-Baghdadi in 2012 had several hundred fighters, all Iraqis, all al-Qaeda, hiding in the shadows of Baghdad. He saw the stalemated civil war in Syria. He saw an opportunity to establish a safe haven, and he moved into Raqqa with several hundred fighters using the internet. He grew that in 18 months to 30,000 fighters that came from all over the world. They had high-end cinematography. They had high-end messaging. And virtually all of those, with some exceptions, came from outside of Iraq and Syria. And that was the force he used in January 2014 to invade Iraq.
An extraordinary degree of sophistication when it came to all things online and cyberspace, as you just mentioned. I'm curious to lean on you on this matter specifically. Do you have a prescription for this? What is your best recommendation for President Trump, for Secretary Mattis? If they were sitting here right now, how do you take on that ideology online?
Yeah, that's a great question. As slow as we were to take down the physical caliphate itself, 5 years, we were very slow to react to the virtual caliphate and what they've been doing on the internet. Now we are on it now. We have Cyber Command. We have 3 military commands working this. We have Cyber Command, the Special Operations Command, and also Central Command, which has overall responsibility. So we are finally making some penetration here. And you know that when they want a message, and they need to message in terms of inspiring attacks or directing attacks, they use encrypted apps that are out there for anyone to use. But they're inspirational, motivational messages, they're still out there on the internet. And we are beginning to take some of that down.
Safe to say, I think, General, that this is maybe the largest challenge that President Trump faces for the remainder of his tenure as President of the United States, at least internationally speaking. Do you agree or not agree?
Well, he said when he was in Riyadh, and he called out everyone in terms of what they had to do to deal with the radical Islamists, drive them out of your mosques, your schools, your gathering places, stop financing it, through your citizens in your country. Yeah. And then he said, we have to undermine this ideology. And it is generational. Physically, when they gather in a group like a safe haven, we have to use kinetic military operations to kill or capture them. But undermining the ideology is the challenge, Jillian, and offering these young people an alternative, other than being drawn into this fanatical radical Islamist ideology, is something that communities and parents and teachers, everybody has to be involved in that.
So, General, we've got to leave it there, unfortunately, but thank you as always for weighing in here. You've taught us all a lot today. Thanks so much.
It's good seeing you in this position, Jillian.